What's good, my people? I done slid this thing on you again, man. Tried to hit you with some back-to-back action. You know what I'm saying? Um, Want to go ahead and talk on this Diddy thing a minute, since he got a trial coming up. What, May the 5th? I think I got on the handle. Yeah, May the 5th, and look like it's gonna be a rather engaging trial, to say the least. But I just want to tap in on the subject with you guys, man, and share some of my ideas on it, but also give some facts about the case. But not only facts about the case, give it from a historical perspective, because Joe Brown weighed in on this thing. And I'm going to be pulling from some clips from what we got? The real Dana, Dana with the data, as she calls herself. But she got some real good stuff over there, man. And I done pulled quite a bit of content, and I done chopped up for y'all in bite-sized pieces. And shout out to her in a major way. Y'all should go check out Judge Joe Brown, be over there a lot. And then I got this other joint right here, Law and Crime Network, pulling some information from them as well. From a few other places and things of that sort, just to give you guys a perspective. And also, as I go through my diatribe of trying to show different perspectives to you, so you can see the vision and how I see it. But at the end of the day, I got a twist that I'm gonna put on this thing as well, because this whole thing with Diddy, not taken away from what he has done, that was vile. No excuse can be made for his behavior. It's appeared that it appears as if he was doing it for a very, very long time, and it was being tolerated for some reason or another. And then all of a sudden it changed. It appeared as if he tried to make sure he had some security for himself, as you could think that the powers that be felt that he was going rogue. But I don't know. It didn't work out that way for him. So we're going to go ahead and slide on this first clip, and I go into what I think and basically the historical precedence of the case.
That's like what they did with Diddy. And whether or not he did anything, the sentence he could get is not worth a $50 million bond with 5 sets of insurances that he would show up. He was on an island that did not have an extradition agreement with the United States government. He negotiated a time to surrender. He came to New York, got a place to live there to handle the case, negotiated a time to come in and surrender himself. They caught him in a mall and arrested him on surprise. And instead of having the FBI as the prosecutorial entity, they did it with Homeland Security so they could claim he was a national threat and get him held incommunicado. That's what they're doing, and that's what you call lawfare now.
Now, again, we're not making no excuses for what Diddy did. The law gonna do what it does, and that's just what that is. But it appears, for me at least, finding out more details from the judge, is that he was already in communication with the government about how he was turning himself in, how he would basically move closer to the district that was looking to prosecute him. I guess whenever they decided to call for him. And as the judge stated, he got a place up close where he could be in proximity of whatever they wanted to do. He negotiated with them, but as according to the judge, they pulled something called lawfare, to where they just decided to, instead of having the FBI grab him, they had Homeland Security grab him. And I was telling y'all before, through a number of my content, that Homeland Security ain't nothing to be playing with. What I mean by that is that just by them grabbing you, it classifies you as a different type of individual. And when I was going back and forth across that border over there in Mexico, messing around with Sinaloa and Tijuana and some everybody else I was dealing with, Homeland Security was right there on that border. But we're not gonna stop here. Let's slide on this next clip to get a little deeper into it.
Cassie, the ex-girlfriend, she is scheduled to testify in Diddy's upcoming trial, which starts May the 5th. So she's set to testify under her real name in the sex trafficking trial scheduled for May 5th in the United States District Court for the Southern District of New York. Federal prosecutors have filed a motion indicating that while Cassie will testify publicly, 3 other alleged victims have requested to remain anonymous during the trial. The prosecution has prepared 4 witnesses for the trial, with Cassie being identified as victim 1 in the alleged documents. So his trial starts May the 5th.
You got May the 5th, you got that thing starting, man. And the interesting thing is that you're going to have some people that's going to be testifying or entering testimony that's going to remain anonymous. That's interesting to me, how somebody can prosecute you or add to the prosecution and testimony stand while they remain anonymous, all under the idea of this guy is a dangerous guy or whatever the case may be. You know, thank you for the thumbs up, man. For anybody who out there watching, please give me a thumbs up, man. Subscribe and all that other good stuff. You know, so you're going to see as we continue to go through this, that the cases, the charges that they got against Diddy is going to increase from 3 to, I think, approximately 5. And you're going to see that RICO enter there. And I'm going to explain what the RICO action is and the different aspects of what it enters into the case. Let's go to this next clip.
Now, the case doesn't carry that much time. I represented a lot of people in federal court charged with the same 3 counts of indictment that Diddy is charged with. The Mann Act was created back before World War I to get Jack Johnson because he had a white wife, and a lot of people objected to him traveling around with her. And by the way, that's what they got R. Kelly on, and that's what they have Diddy charged with is the Mann Act. You know what sentence Jack Johnson got when he got convicted of the Mann Act?
What?
1 year. But he got 5 years because he escaped and went to France, and he tried to sneak back in because his mama wanted to.
Now look at that. You see right there that the judge said, and he's going to explain as we go further through this, the Mann Act was created just for Jack Johnson, the heavyweight champion of the world at that time. I see I got a comment. Give me a minute. It was created just for him because the country had an issue with him traveling with his then white wife and her girlfriends. And once he was convicted, he got 1 year for the Mann Act. 1 year, an additional 4, total of 5, based on him he running over to France or whatever the case may be. But for the actual charge, 1 year. And you see the judge say that he's represented many of people, and I cut certain parts out to not be offensive to no one, mostly with guys that were basically entering into, you know, some form of entertainment for men, but at the expense of women south of the border in federal court. And they never got a lot of time for this. But he also mentioned R. Kelly. And see, the key to this is going to be that racketeering or RICO. Let me move to these comments I got real quick here. What up, Doe L? I ain't seeing you around here in a minute. I see how you feel. You got the main finger up to get everybody's attention. That's what's up, baby. I ain't seen you in a minute. How you been doing, man? Glad to see you up in this thing. And as always, I got my main man, Butch, up in here. Peace to you, Butch. Butch is giving peace out to everybody. That's what's up, family. Good to see I got my family up in here with me, holding it down as we move through this subject, man. Peace to you, brothers, man. Peace to you, brothers. But yeah, man, let's slide on this next one, because I ain't going to be in front of y'all long. But the way this thing is going to twist, I think that y'all going to find it extremely, extremely interesting. Now, you just heard them mention about the whole RICO and all this stuff here. So let me go ahead and hit you with this.
Just sat through another sentencing, from one of my clients, and I want to share with you some things so that way you can pass the information along. Sometimes what happens is people end up getting jammed up, and it's just because they didn't know the information. Okay, let me start with RICO. RICO is one of the most devastating laws on the books as it comes with the federal system. This is how RICO works in a nutshell. If they can prove that you are part of an organization that they consider to be a racketeering, and that organization did such and so acts, they don't even have to prove you did the acts. Just by virtue of you being a part of the organization, you get grafted in. Right? So I'm working with somebody right now who is grafted into acts that happened before he was even born. He's on their indictment. Why? Taking pictures with people, jumping in people's music videos, being on Instagram, talking hot, that you saying stuff you have no business saying.
Now, the next video I'm going to play, you're going to see Dana add in the extra charges that they added on to P Diddy, or Brother Love, as he like to call it, well, as I call him, but he's talking about Love. But you're going to see that one of them is racketeering. Racketeering is an enhancement. So what does that mean? After they get done with all your charges and what they're going to charge you with on the not community guidelines, but the sentencing guideline, is numbers on there. Level 31, level this, that, and other. So once you level out and they hit you with your level, and that's depending on if the federal judge is going to give you high end or the low end of that level, there's an enhancement. So that means the RICO may be a 7-step enhancement. So if you at 31, level 31, that means with them extra 7 steps, you're going to go up to level 38. And that's a whole lot of time. That's maybe an additional 10, 15 years within those 7 steps. But let me hit this right here for you.
Well, it says here that the alleged 3 victims that's going to be testifying under a pseudo. Meanwhile, 4 judges have said plaintiffs can't proceed anonymously in their lawsuits. I think
I know. So the bottom line is if you're trying to get civil damages, you have to be known. But somebody you're trying to get put in the penitentiary, you get to hide. I don't buy that.
Yeah. So, and it says he's also hit with 5 federal charges, dealing with sex trafficking and racketeering.
They had additional counts on the 3 that they charged him with.
Yeah, it says Diddy now faces 5 federal charges, including,
they added 2 more,
including sex trafficking and racketeering.
Like I said, that racketeering, that's that RICO. That's that dangerous one right there. And that's what's going to turn his sentence into something like what R. Kelly got with all that actual time. But for you that you guys didn't see what I stated so far, what I showed with Joe, you probably can, Judge Joe Brown, you could run this thing back when we're done here. You can see that it was created for Jack Johnson, then heavyweight champion of the world, and he received 1 year for it. 1 year. And this is when the world was supposed to be so segregated and so racist back then. You dig what I'm saying? So let me go and run this other thing, and then I'm going to moving toward the end of this, but I'm going to show you what I think this thing is really about. But I want to show exactly what's going to happen when his case starts May the 5th. This thing on. Okay, we're straightened out here. Let's run this.
But it's like, see, $50 million for a bond, and he's not going to, if he got the maximum under the sentencing guidelines, it wouldn't be commensurate with a $50 million bond that was not accepted as adequate. In other words, what I'm saying is the person they designed the entire Mann Act to go after, the first person ever charged with it, heavyweight champion Jack Johnson, got 1 year for being convicted. And that's when they had no sentencing guidelines. And that was back in the old racist South for something that happened before World War I, more than 100 years ago. 110 or 12. Saying it's an example of what's happening because Diddy is charged with the exact same charges that Jack Johnson was charged with before World War I.
So I think y'all see where I'm going. I think I'm making my point here with this. Again, not to be an apologist and not to make up for what Diddy did or saying that what he did was right. That's not stating that. But what I am pointing to, that I believe that his actions, along with R. Kelly's actions and so many others, was tolerated as long as it was beneficial. But now I'm going to take you back way before this stuff started and then bring you back up to where he ended up getting snatched up and show you a different perspective. So let's go right here.
Investigating a complaint made by Combs' involvement in the 2004 election. So Peter Flaherty, who is president of the National Legal and Policy Center, said that the way that Combs pushed to get people out to vote was in violation of both IRS and Federal Election Commission policies. So Citizen Change was the umbrella group over the Vote or Die campaign, and on its website, Citizen Change reportedly described itself as, quote, a nonpartisan, nonprofit organization with a mission to educate, motivate, empower millions of young Americans to access their power on November 2nd. But according to Flaherty, the problem came when Combs made his own political preference known. So Flaherty filed his complaint on November 3rd, 2005, and on the very first page, he states, quote, Sean Combs is the founder and CEO of Bad Boy Worldwide Entertainment Group, who undertook an illegal campaign during 2004 aimed at defeating President Bush in the presidential election of 2004. The complaint then cites a February 2004 Rolling Stone article about the 11th annual Rock the Vote Awards ceremony in Hollywood. And Combs is quoted as saying, we're going to get Bush's ass out of that office. The complaint also talks about the apparent luxury of the Vote or Die tour. Flaherty claims that this was all a gigantic PR stunt, not only for the Democratic Party, but for Bad Boy World Entertainment. And the complaint says, according to a Citizen Change press release, Citizen Change sought to create a sexy, fashionable t-shirt line with the Vote or Die slogan. Head designers at the Sean John clothing label will join with those at Echo, Fat Farm, Rockaware to create a line featuring distinct, hip interpretations of the campaign's message.
Echo, Fat Farm, Sean John, and Rockaware. I'm not familiar with who owns Echo, but Fat Farm, if I'm not mistaken, was owned by Russell Simmons. Sean John, of course, P Diddy, Rockaware, Jay-Z. Who were the two guys that they were going after initially besides R. Kelly with this whole sex thing? Russell Simmons, but he took off. He headed for the hills. Sean John, we already said R. Kelly. They just got through coming for Jay-Z in a number of different ways. Okay, but what I want you to notice, the issue was, or starting to be, once he was starting to speak on things about voting and with the black vote. But we're not going to stop here because his language starts to get more and more aggressive. Check this out.
Let's not wait for these people to come and save us. Let's not wait for the Democratic Party. Let's not wait for government. Let's own our politics. Black politics. We need to own that. We need to have a platform, an institution that's going to support and breed young black politicians and social leaders that have integrity, not just in the quiet rooms, publicly.
Look at how aggressive and how he's asserting himself right now. Pay attention to this now. For all you out there, man, give me some thumbs ups and some likes and subscriptions and things of that, or follows or whatever. I really appreciate it, family. But listen to how he's talking. He's getting much more aggressive and assertive. But as always, hold on. It's going to get better.
Black vote is not going to be for free. We're going to have to see some promises. What are we getting in return for our vote? Nothing has changed for Black America. And in order for us to vote for Biden, we can't be taken for granted like we always are because we're supposed to be Democrats or because people are afraid of Trump. It's whoever's going to take care of our community, whoever wants to make a deal. It's business at this point. We can't trust politicians. You know, so we want to know very clearly, just like Trump made it clear that he wanted to build a wall, Biden needs to make it clear that he's going to change the lives and quality of life of black and brown people, or else he can't get the vote. I will hold the vote hostage if I have to.
You said it here, said it first.
Breaking news. Breaking news.
He's saying he will hold the vote hostage personally, himself, unless they come to the table and do some business. And we know off rip, not trying to be left or right on this, but we're just trying to see behind the curtains and what's really going on. And not to mention all this going on with China, these tariffs, how China exposing what's been done with these different brands and logos being placed on things, but they're charging exorbitant amounts of money. And thanks to the family for pulling my coattail to that yesterday when we was getting down, acting crazy on here. You know what I'm saying? We need to start paying attention to what's going on. And I promise you, if I got about 4 more clips, I promise y'all stick with me. I'm gonna hit you with a finale at the end that you're not even gonna be aware of. I'm sure you hadn't even thought about. Who we got here? Tonio, well, what's shaking with you, baby? What's up, family? I don't think I seen you on here before, did I? I'm not sure, family. If I'm making a mistake, I beg your apologies, brother. But nice seeing you, man. Hey, listen, hit that like button or follow if you're on Facebook or however that go, man. And appreciate you for tapping in, man. And much love and appreciation to you, man. And continue to slide through and kick it with us, man. Because we over here building, man. We over here building. Shout out to Jones off in here, my man L also holding it down. You know, where was I? Okay, I got another comment here. Okay, well that's love, man. I appreciate that. I'm happy that you tap it in and you coming to pull up on us, man. Pull up on us more often, man. Cause like I say, we just over here building, brother. But it's nice to see you in here, man. And I mean, it's nothing but love and appreciation for you taking your time to spend it with us as we kicking it and try to see through this maze and what's really happening out here. You know what I'm saying? Now, what I'm about to hit you with is this next clip that some of y'all might have already heard 50 Cent talking about, but 50 Cent gonna speak about how he was having a little bit of run in and how he worked this thing out. Check it out.
You see him go to daily on is when you see him have some issues. And they not. It gets bad. You know, and the civil case doesn't turn into a criminal case faster because he's making them uncomfortable. As you see, I had a lawsuit with Remy. They said that because I had an oval shaped bottle that there was some sort of product confusion, and I'm like, where? It's a big B in the middle of the fucking bottle. Like you don't own the shape, the whole shape of the bottle. You know? And then we had went in there for a little while until I started saying shit like 1738, I bet they had slaves. This shit got uncomfortable and it was like, look, relax, okay? Can we make donations to existing foundations to make you feel happy? It went away, but they do spend $63 million targeting African-American male consumers a year. Remy, specific. You know, so that's why that would be uncomfortable, me making those statements. And it's risk versus reward. It doesn't make sense to fight the
risk versus reward. It didn't make no sense to continue to attack him. And they're saying that the bottle was shaped similar to theirs. It wasn't about that. It's they were concerned by him being that he could pull his people over to buying his product and pull away from them. And at the end of the day, seeing how 50 worked, I wouldn't doubt if that was part of the lick. You know what I'm saying? But then when they started to hem him up, he know how it go. He know they spending $63 million a year in advertisement aimed at to get us to buy their product. So if they willing to spend that much per year, just imagine how much they making. But him thinking light on his feet like most hustlers do. Okay, wham. You've been around since 1738. I bet you had slaves. They say, wait. Time out. That's a no-go there. Then it goes into risk versus reward. The risk of coming at this joker that we paid him to move our product at one point, people listen to him. So if that sensitive subject come up of these particular people that we spending $63 million per year annually to bring in, however much they bring in, he starts saying, all bets is off. The risk of that ain't worth the reward. You know what? Relax. Let me make a contribution to your favorite charity, and let's act like this never happened. We got a comment up here. Let me tap in on it. Okay, Tonio, what you got? Yeah, they're not trying to. That's what this thing is all about, Tonio. That's what it's all about. This is all about money. And with Diddy coming out and saying that he's willing, after years of working, to bring votes in, now he's saying that he's willing to hold or attempt to hold the black vote hostage unless y'all give up something. That's messing with their money. What is China doing right there now? They messing with their money. You see what I'm saying? So you got to peep that out. But see, Diddy thought he had, we got another comment here. What we got, Tonio again. Yeah, they wanted to cut the, that's what they always do. That's what they always do. But now we're thinking more economic now. We're thinking not only working for the boss, we thinking about ownership. And see, that's always been a problem with them. They've always been used to telling us, you know, honey barbecue in our ears, where we're going to give money for education and we're going to give money for this, that, and the other. But the monies that they're putting out for education, these different things for people of color, not black people, or minorities, that don't mean black people. That money and funding always go to their people where they making the money to do this quasi-education and the whole damn nine. You look right now, kids getting these degrees and whatever and can't do nothing with them. Because it was all a hustle, man. You know what I'm saying? But see, here's the thing. Diddy tried to put a play down. Diddy was pulling the play, again, not taking away from the freaky shit he was on. Not taking away from the freaky shit that R. Kelly was on. These dudes was freaks and they knew they was freaks. And they was freaking with them. But it was cool as long as they wasn't messing with their money. But see, Diddy tried to put an insurance policy in place that might have not really quite worked out for him. Check this out right here. Yo, give me some likes. Give me some thumbs up, baby. Appreciate y'all.
What I think Diddy was doing was giving himself, I'm not approving of what he did, but Hollywood's a bunch of freaks anyway, and the American public goes along with the freaks to set the tone.
But here's the thing.
What everybody in Hollywood does is they blackmail each other or have information incriminating on each other so nobody can sit there and get the jump or the advantage. And I think that's what he probably was doing.
Now, see, you see the judge right there talking about it. So when you see them doing them raids at all his houses at one time, coming in from the water and all that, they was trying to get that nigga tapes. They was trying to get that information that he had that he was using as leverage on their head. Now, I'm going to show you something in a minute. I only got 2 more clips to go. But I'm going to show you this one clip, and this last one going to have the C4 in it that's going to show you clearly the play that he was trying to put down. Okay? We got another comment over here. Let me check it out. Okay, Tonio. Everybody done did freaky stuff. Oh, shit. Hey, Tonio, don't come to this motherfucker telling on yourself, dog. Because, Tonio, looking at your picture, look like you was a super freak, boy. Hey, Tony, I'm just playing. I'm just fucking with you, man. No personal. We have a little fun in here. That's all that is. But yeah, man, you got it right. I mean, some people just describe freaky a little bit different from others. So don't be coming here telling yourself, Tonio. Okay, now check this next clip I'm about to run right here. This right here will put you in the right spot of the whole thing, what's about to be said. And then I'm going to hit you with that last thing. Here you go.
My particular experience with Beef Centauri, it was great in the beginning. It's great for us to work for them. It's not so cool when you start to own things. You see what I'm saying? So I made a lot of money with them too. Like, there's a point, they did a deal that mirrored Puffy's deal with Diageo was for Ciroc.
At the end of the day, you want to be able to open up doors. Sometimes you got to take that opportunity and get in. And so that's what I did with Ciroc.
So he didn't have ownership of that at any point, but he was getting a lot of money, like almost like $60 million a year at one point. So you see him go to daily on is when you see him have some issues. It gets bad. You know, and these people have really strong relationships. Don't think that the civil case doesn't turn into a criminal case faster because he's making them uncomfortable. That's a big part of it. You know what I mean? Like, you look, when you go to the spirits businesses, it's not governed.
The spirits business is not governed. But see, Diddy was coming in for a whole lot, and he wasn't playing because he had a whole lot of leverage on them people, and they didn't like it. No, Antonio, it's all good, baby. It's all good. I mean, you do your thing, man. You working it out and, you know, doing what you're doing. That's what's up. You know, go ahead and, you know, just be responsible. Have you some fun. Don't wait till you get too old, because when you get too old, sometimes you got to pull out them jumper cables, hook them to the battery, tap the and hit yourself on the back, boy. So, yeah, do your thing, baby, for sure. For sure. For sure, for sure. No judgment in here, no kind of way. But, yeah, 50 is putting it out there when it was coming for Diageo and the money that they making and that they not governed. See, he was making a power play, and he was saying putting yourself in a position to open up the door for other people. Again, we look at some of the most powerful men in the world throughout history and some of the good things that they've done. You know, profound men. We find out that they were really complicated people, and some of them jokers were some damn weirdos. I'm not saying that that's the case with Diddy. You know what I'm saying? I see you over there, Antonio, clowning. Don't you be up here starting no shit, Antonio. You know. Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. But now let me give you this last video, because I think this last video and a part that he's saying here, I'm gonna bring up at the end, I think is gonna be a reflection of what's going through now and where I think this thing is going. Not with Diddy. I'm speaking overall and where we are at a country and what's happening in the world right now. So let me go and run this last joint down right here. Where we at? Here we go.
But there's an elephant in the room, and it's not just about the Grammys. There's discrimination and injustice everywhere at an all-time high. And you just want an even playing field? Truth be told, hip-hop has never been respected by the Grammys. Black music has never been respected by the Grammys to the point. And it's not just going on in music, it's going on in film, it's going on in sports, it's going on around the world. And for years, we've allowed institutions that have never had our best interests at heart to judge us. And that stops right now. Y'all got 365 days to get this together. We need the artists to take back the control. We need transparency. We need diversity. They work for us. We have the power. We decide what's hot. If we don't go, nobody goes. If we don't support, nobody supports. We control what's cool. We control what's hot. We control what your kids listen to, what they dance to. We control what's in video games. We control how they wear their pants, sag their pants. We control everything. But it's going to take all of us to get this done. It's going to take the artists and executives to recognize their power. My goal used to be about making hit records. Now it's about ensuring that the culture moves forward. My culture, our culture, the black culture. And I want to dedicate this award to Michael Jackson for Off the Wall, Prince for 1999, Beyonce for Lemonade, Beyonce for Lemonade, Beyonce for Lemonade.
Now, dig, I ran that Beyonce thing 3 times. Because remember, I told y'all in the middle of this thing, with that Rock the Vote, you had Echo. I'm not familiar who owned Echo. You had Fat Farm, you know that's Russell Simmons. Sean John, you know who that's P Diddy. You had Rockaware. That's Jay-Z. And you see he getting the Icon Award, and he gave a shout out to Beyonce, and with the other names he mentioned in that category, just Beehive don't come for me. Because I know jujitsu, karate, and all that shit. Only by name only. You know what I'm saying? But I don't believe she belonged in that category. No disrespect to her as an artist. But I think that's just showing affiliation. I see your comments. Give me a minute. But the point I'm trying to make is this. Your boy over here cooking that thing up. I got the wrist and everything. What I'm saying is this. Go back to the part when he said they work for us. Wow. If we don't go or if we don't, nothing goes. Let's point back to the coverage or whatever that was just made on that whole thing that when the people was out there out there marching on Trump and some of the stuff he was doing. There was none of our people that was in it. Nobody of color or black folks or nothing. We stood down, let them do their thing. And understand this conversation is not a right or left. This conversation is not a black, white, Chinese, or we just having a conversation. You know what I'm saying? But you didn't see the same coverage. What would have happened if we were there? Now, of course, them people with them, doing what they do with to work us out, they would have been out there in full force, but you'd have had coverage, full coverage of every square inch of everywhere was going on if we were there. Okay. Then he goes on to say, we make things hot. We control what your kids listen to. We control what your kids wear. We control the pants sag, and we control. Now, let's flip the script. I see the comments. Give me a hot second. Let me cook for a minute. Now, look at what's going on in China. China then came out and said, hey, 80% of your bags, your Birkins, is made with. Your shoes you're wearing is made. Only thing we do, we make it, and we ship it to them, and they put their what? Logos and brands on it. What did 50 Cent say? They spend, Hennessy alone spends $63 million a year aimed at young black men. So just imagine the amount of money they're making. Now, out of all this going on, you ain't seen no brand come out and say that it's a lie. Only people you seeing on TikTok that's saying it's BS is Kim Kardashians and them people like that. Why? Because that's how they make their money. You see what I'm saying? So him saying we decide what's cool. We decide because it's the culture. As the I didn't put his video on. I meant to put it on here. I've been played it so many times. He's talking about how we are a world superpower and soft power. We determine as we move. Like I say, it's not against nobody. It's not selecting and saying we are exceptional over anyone. This is not a conversation like this. This is a conversation, a collective conversation for us to pay attention to. So at the end of the day, if they show you being ripped off by all these different brands and logos, which I'm going to do something separate on that another day, what they doing? They snatching the illusion from that. They taking the illusion. And in return, that's freeing your mind. Now look at the play. Who was the first one that came out and said anything? You had Russia that came out not too long ago and showed the paintings of the patriarchs of the religions and how they looked physically. That was taking the sting or the stigmatism off of one of the biggest brands we know today. And we were just on Marvin Sapp, but about that, I got something on that too, and how they taking money. And now you got the Chinese that come along, Russia and China together. Pay attention, people. Now they coming along, they taking the allure away from when you put your Burberry on, when you put your Hermes or you put your Birkin bags, you put your Louis and your Gucci on and all that. And finding out that it don't really cost nothing. The Birkin bag costs $1,000, $1,400, $38,000 bag. Give me some likes and some follows out there, people, please. You know what I'm saying? When it gets over to France or wherever, only thing they do is put their logo on it, put some nice wrappers and ribbons on it with some of that little nice little paper and things like that, and do an upcharge of $37,000 or $36,600 on your ass, $1,000. You see what I'm saying? So what's happening? These countries outside of us, they talking to us, but they taking away the illusion that we are under, hoping that we'll free our minds, people. And this ain't only talking to It's talking to our white brothers and sisters, whether you're on the left, right, or whatever. It's talking to everybody because you was just out there in the street protesting. Am I saying start a revolution? No. Am I saying go out start it? No. All I'm saying is pay attention to what's happening and stop being so quick to jump out there talking crazy. Now, this is what I do want to say to black people. We got black folks out here tripping about the Smithsonian, what Trump talking about changing in there, some of the black stuff and all that. It seems to be a pattern that's going on. It seems to be they start doing this stuff and the truth always comes along later. So all I'm asking you to do is slow up your judgment. As we said with our other brothers and sisters out there protesting, we told our folks or people of color, stand down, let's sit down, sit this one out. Let's see what they got. So I'm telling black people and people, sit down. Let some of this puff stuff pass. Let's see what's really shaking. Because there's a lot of truths that's being unearthed up through here. And it's just happening globally. It's not just happening domestic. Let me get to the comments. I'm over here cooking too much. I know y'all getting tired of my ass. You know, y'all part of the show too, so let me get you in here. Oh, shit. Man. I waited too long. Y'all boys in here getting down. Okay, let's see what you're saying, Antonio. Bro, it's just like they did. I didn't want to bring that at Suge. Who was that guy with the Murder Inc? Y'all know who I'm talking about. Jay Prince, when they tried to set the whole little record thing up and all that. And also, I think Larry Hoover and all them, when they were trying to put the, I mean, it is what it is. Trying to put the gangbangs together to start a party and all that. So, I mean, you're right, Tonio. Back in the day, Suge was trying to get with all the brothers in the industry. Yeah. We on the same page. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. And you see what happened with all them. What we got? We got my brother Jones here. What you got? Puffy thought he really had power in the music. Well, see, I think Puffy thought because he did some freakery with everybody and he had that leverage, he took a play out of what we be talking about all the time, Butch. J. Edgar Hoover thing with trying to have something on everybody to keep them neutral. But what he didn't understand is what 50 said in that Diageo thing. These people got friends in high places and they all have invested interests. And it's what they've always done. When we get out or do a certain thing like they did with Jack Johnson, they didn't like what he was doing at the time. What they do, they made a law personally for him that we know was made personally for him to entrap him, to lock him up because they didn't like what, you know what I'm saying? But there's other communities that's in this thing trying to get us to wake up and take all the illusion, do like, well, I guess I'm showing my age here, with the Wizard of Oz, when Toto went and pulled that damn curtain back and the wizard back there pulling leverages, screaming through the thing, making fire jump up and all that, and it wasn't really no damn wizard. You dig what I'm saying? Tonio, what you got? Just like in the black community, the Chinese on the nail shops and the liquor stores and markets and gas stations, they're getting the black dollar and living great. See, here's the thing. I've said this before. Everybody's not going to agree with this, but I think I got enough precedent and historical proof to this. We looked, and that's why I think that Malcolm X made, not Malcolm X, but Martin Luther King made the statement, I think I led my people into a burning house, as of what Harry Belafonte stated. It's because we went out hard for that 1964 Civil Rights Bill. And what we making a mistake, and I'm asking all you guys out there listening to me or hearing me later on to Google. Google this. The very first Civil Rights Bill. You'll find the very first Civil Rights Bill was of 1866. And that bill, it names us personally. What we did when we backed that 1964 Civil Rights Bill, we added language into the initial Civil Rights Bill, and the language we added was people of color and minority. And then when we look at DEI and we look at affirmative action, we find out who benefited the most. It was a new category of minority that was white, single white, or white female. Nothing against them, because at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying, they benefiting from law, and it's a system that was created by others. And I do think we make the mistake sometimes with targeting them because at the end of the day, they're only doing what the law allows. It is the system that owes you. It's the system. But see, they starting to see what's going on now because they starting to see that those elites and people at the top don't give a F about them either. You know what I'm saying? What we got here? Jones, what you got? Puffy pushing around in the music business is not power. Or Flunky. Puffy had the game totally confused. I remember I hate when let's do this. I'm sorry, y'all. I remember it's that song. I think it's some of y'all know it, my song called Freemason with Rick Ross and with Jay-Z in it. And I think Jay-Z was like, he said, some of y'all out there, I'd rather you squeeze the metal on me, but y'all put the devil on me. And basically saying that he was a Illuminati and all this devil worshiper. And he said, this is a Hail Mary pass. Y'all interfering. At the end of the day, Brother Jones, and I get, because you talk a lot. You know what I'm saying? And I know your heart's in the right place. All our heart's in the right place. We're just trying to be able to figure this thing out. You know, at the end of the day, and I'm going to do something on this. I got another thing I'm going to do on something like this. You're not going to get through the door unless you're doing certain things. And at the end of the day, sometimes there has to be sacrifices. Not saying that it's a moral thing to do or whatever the case may be, but he kind of stated it in one of his things and not justifying the animal or person that he is that's not ethical. But you think you being ethical, you're going to make it in them circles to possibly attempt to liberate anybody? Just imagine all the freaky stuff Trump did and all the questionable things Trump did. But yet and still you had the minister come out and say, this man is different. He's an anomaly. And at the end of the day, you look through the Bible. Most of your pivotal, important spiritual people that we get inspiration from were some weird people. You got the patriarch of the Jewish people, you know what I'm saying, respect to them, that was using his wife to trick and hustle men because she was beautiful. That sounds like that could be some freaky shit there. I mean, I'm not justifying it, Brother Jones. I'm just speaking to the fact that I agree with everything you said, first of all. But what I'm trying to introduce is maybe if he was the biggest monster initially in the beginning, at some place, maybe there was a spiritual movement that touched him to move in a different way, to try to add in and open up things for himself, even if it was for greed for himself. But we do know when he started doing that and started moving against them bigger companies, that's when he started to do, as 50 Cent said, he started to make them feel uncomfortable. We got a number more comments here. You got what you got, Tonio? Just like the black community, the Chinese on there. Okay, yeah, we did this one already, I think. Okay. I know I didn't get behind a little bit. Y'all work with me. Okay. Oh shit. We got Tonio. Like Tonio talking about some freaky stuff. Let me read it before I let y'all see it. We gotta watch Tonio. Okay. They use us like, bro, once they done with you and you've had enough and you made enough money. I mean, that's what they've always done. And you actually had Michael Jackson speak to that and how the jitterbug and different dances was made up by us, different categories of music, and how when we done, we just done, you know. But he did that. He's like, but he did like this, not me. But then not long after that, you know how that story ended, you know? Oh, shit. Now, see, we just seen that it looks as if Tonio ass is a troublemaker. I'm just stating. And look like he's a super freak too, but only with the ladies, a distinction he made sure that he put forth. So let me state that for the record. But here is the number one troublemaker of the whole crew. Jones know who it is. It's damn Jonesy. Look at Jonesy. Jonesy in here and he ready to start shit. I'm warning all y'all now. Jones is full of shit and he here to start shit. What's good, my baby? You good out there, Jonesy? They let you up to breathe a little bit, man, because Jonesy has Jamaican and Mexican, and he got 1,500 jobs. Now this is my dude here. You know what, Preem? I started to grab, since this was the subject here, I started to grab that comment you made, but I hadn't seen you, wasn't able to holler at you to ask you, could I put it up? The one you made when I was saying, with the Gene Deal thing with P Diddy saying that, it's like he's just trying to sacrifice himself just for the lights again, just to do it one more time and do it big. And then you made the statement something to the point of, if it's his being his last act, and even if he don't set himself on, ablaze or whatever, I was gonna use that, but I didn't see you and get a chance to holler at you about it, man. But yeah, what's up to you, baby? Happy to see you in here again. Okay, Jones. What you got? Yeah, yep. That's what I was talking about. Irv Gotti. Yep. Let's see, you boys keeping me on point. Hey, Butch. I'm warning you. Tonio a super freak. Be careful with him, Butch. I'm just messing with you, Tonio. Don't take it personal. If I'm going too far, baby, let me know. We just try to have a little fun in here, man. That's all. Hope you don't take that the wrong way. Oh yeah, okay. You see, yeah, Tonio, Butch being here cooking, man. Butch Supreme, a lot of these brothers being here cooking, man. We being here building, bro. We being here, but it's each one teach one. Each one teach one. Hey, y'all, hit that like button out there for me, man. Give me some follows and some little subscription things or whatever, and kick it with us, man. We appreciate y'all following through. Kick it with us. What we got, Tonio? They only gonna let you get so far. And here's the thing, though. I agree with you, but I think what's happening, man, you're starting to get a seismic shift that's going on again by what I said the Russians did and what the Chinese just did. Those are areas that directly affect us, religion and fashion. And I'm going to say it again, baby. We got next. We got next, family. What you got? This Joan. Yeah, Primo. The political game is, oh, yeah, okay. And deceptive. And no, all day. All day. All day, Jones. All day. Ooh, boy, you boys coming with these comments shit. Y'all moving quick. Brother. Okay, they let people in who are compromised for control. It's a reason. The worst, yeah, that's right. And understanding where you listen here. I got another video we're gonna do, man, that is speaking directly to this. And it's speaking, and it's off a video that I seen, a little clip I seen, and it's speaking about how these people come into these different industries, whether athletes or whatever, and they're basically taken, and the contracts they sign basically commits them to not being able to help liberate. You see what I'm saying? And they actually turn them into a brand. This whole system is based on branding. The Western world has been the best branders throughout history. What they say? Your mom always taught you signs and symbols is for the conscious mind. Our people have always moved off of symbols. I don't care if you got Tonio butt over there being super freak, doing this thing with his 2-3 women. Walk through there with a big cross and see what happens. You ain't got to say nothing. Just walk through there with a cross. The power of symbols. And what these people are doing is they're taking away the illusion and the luster of the symbols of Louis Vuitton, of Gucci, of Hermes, and all these things, and showing you that they are just regular purses. They're just regular shoes that's getting these logos put on them. that you worship and it become your God. And then the Russians go in and open up a 13th or 12th century chapel or whatever and show you these pictures. So family, I mean, I'm talking to everybody, but I don't know why I still got you up here, brother. So that's what I'm saying, man. Just slow down and just watch some of what's going on. It's becoming apparent. It's becoming apparent. Okay, you see Preem up in here, John. Okay, shit, who we got here? Red Wine, 65. I don't understand why Diddy would be a sodomite with all that money. What they say, absolute power corrupts. I mean, I know y'all know what I'm saying. Absolute power corrupts absolute, or something like that. When you get, it's like some sick shit to say. I wouldn't feel like this, but it's like when you get so much power, the turn on becomes power. When I was over there with them cartels, a couple of cartel bosses I won't name, they got obsessed with power. So what they would do, they would get other men that were over there doing a lot of deleting and things of that had everybody scared. They would go and capture these men and tell them that they had to perform fellatio on them in front of other men. Not trying to be, to freak nobody out or nothing. But that's the sickness of power, because they wanted to feel more powerful than, or like they said, the Indians of old times, when they had a buffalo that showed courage or whatever, they would, delete the buffalo, but eat him and all that. But they would take his heart and they would consume it to consume that. So it's some weird, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I mean, I hope you understand what I'm saying. Red Wine 65. Hey, Red Wine 65. Appreciate you for coming through, man. I hope you join, and come and continue to kick it with us. We try to keep it balanced, but we all try to have we call this like our little think tank, and we like to build together and share ideas. And it's not gender specific, it's not ethnic specific, but we try to use examples to try to see where we are on the stage and in the world at this moment, and try to basically be in a good spot to, as I say, hit the lick, baby. But appreciate you, Red Wine. Tap in, man. Like, subscribe, and all the good stuff. Look forward to seeing you again. Okay, I see. Okay, Supreme and they talk. Okay, what you got here, Supreme? I see you got one. Then I'm gonna get on out y'all way, man. Puffy and someone from Rockefeller went to them people when the brothers were trying to. I mean, I seen that. And that's interesting that they did that. I guess it could only be for greed, and then turn around and try to run the play yourself. That's the only thing I could assume. But I did see that, brother. I did see that. So like I was saying, man, I appreciate y'all for coming through, man. We're getting a chance to build again. I think probably tomorrow, I'm gonna try to see what Thought doing and see if we can do that Marvin Sapp one, man. I know for sure that y'all gonna mess with that, man, because I got some serious information in there on that I'm knowing that y'all gonna mess with, and I'm gonna blow y'all mind. And that's what I always intend to do. Because yesterday we had some fun yesterday, but y'all niggas was kicking on my ass. Y'all had me when I got off from dealing with y'all yesterday. I had to do some research, man. Y'all dropped some serious knowledge on me, man. And it's actually what the stuff y'all dropped on me is gonna cause me to go line up a couple of more things. You know what I'm saying, that we can also do. What you got, Butch? Signs, symbols, slogans go far back into antiquities as tools of control. Always Lenin, Stalin, Marx, yeah, all promoted their use as valuable. No, all day, because at the end of the day, how do I say this? I'm gonna speak for us. spirituality is in our DNA. And at the end of the day, I think spirituality is in everyone's DNA, but really in ours, because the melanin and the ether that's in us vibrates. We know that there's a God, not because someone told us. We know that there's a God because we can feel him. We can feel him. We can walk into a room and feel it. You know what you dig what I'm saying? Y'all know where I'm coming. Y'all can pick up what I'm putting down. You know what I'm saying? But I see what you dudes trying to do. Y'all brothers trying to take me off in that lane today, but we ain't gonna do it today because I got some stuff coming up where we really gonna go there. So like I say to you, man, I appreciate y'all, man. I fuck with y'all the long way. And as long as I get the opportunity, God continue to put air in my body, I'm gonna cook for you. And at the end of the day, I look to pull in here and some of y'all cook a little something for me too. And we're gonna build and we're gonna figure it out. Every now and then we're gonna jump on silly season and entertain some crazy shit and see where that takes us as well. You know what I'm saying? But that's what's up, man. But at the end of the day, I keep telling y'all, I got a lot of more stuff to do and to share with y'all, and I'm sure y'all got a lot of more to share with me. I'm gonna say it again, brothers, sisters. We got next. We got next. You may not see it now. And I'm sure some of y'all see it, like Bush Supreme and all that. And like I say, y'all peace, brothers and sisters. We got next. We got next. Peace to you.